Perfect. Anthony. Hello, Anthony. How are you all?
I'm fine.
I'm fine. How are you? I can hear you.
I'm fine. Thank you, Dhvani.
Good. Thank you.
Dhvani, you okay? Anthony, you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
So, nice to meet you all. I'm glad to host this online conference on study design in France. I will introduce now Cécilia. Cécilia Talopp with us today. Hello, how are you? How are you, Cécilia?
Good, thank you.
We are in presence of Anthony Vacter too and Dhvani Suba.
Hello.
Yeah. So Cécilia, you have a master in environment and sustainable development. Yeah. You now international affairs at Strate School of Design. You worked for 3 years for an American NGO on ocean conservation before joining Strate School, right?
Exactly.
Okay, and at Strate, you are in charge of sending the student abroad for internships, academic exchanges, and receiving international students.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay. Now let's introduce Anthony Vacter. You are a designer.
Yes.
And Saint-Étienne graduate. And you presented today in Dubai Design Week your fiction design research titled A Life on Mars, about a possible scenario of living in outer space in the year 2050.
Yeah.
After an ecological disaster on Earth. So I heard that you succeed this project.
It was good.
Yeah, you will tell us more about it after. So you designed this fictional space station that could be in adequation with the life of a Martian settler, yeah?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, perfect. And this work and object made in 3D printing include the scenario of architecture, furniture, and technologies for different ways of living on Mars and the living conditions in a confined environment. Yeah, that's great. Such a great project, Anthony. So now let's introduce our last guest, Dhvani Suba. You are about to get a master in interactive design.
Interaction design, yes.
Yeah, at the Rubika School of Design in France, in Valenciennes exactly. And you change multiple streams in design itself, which allow you to see different perspective of design thinking.
Yep.
Yeah, and you did your bachelor at DSK International.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. So you could tell us more about your experience, what you learned, how is life in France, study design in France, and advantages to pursue this kind of program in France. Yes, so let's start now with Cécilia. I have a lot of questions for you today. So Cécilia, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, perfect. Could you tell us more about Strate School, where you work, and your complete function in these establishments?
Yeah, sure. So At Strat, I'm based in the Sèvres campus, which is in the western suburbs of Paris. It's 10 minutes from Paris.
Yeah.
And we also have campuses in Lyon, in the south of France, and Bangalore in India and Singapore. We were created in 1993, so we have a bit of experience. Can you hear me well?
Yeah, I can hear you well. Please, if other guests can be on mute, or all the participants can be on mute to avoid all this noise around us, please.
Perfect.
Yeah, thank you. Perfect, Cecilia.
Sure. So yeah, different campuses, different programs. So I'm in charge of international affairs, and as you said, everything that is not only in France goes through my office. So basically I send all the students abroad because it is part of the design curriculum to spend a semester abroad, either on internship, academic exchange, or study trip.
Yeah.
But I also take care of all international students who come to the school, whether it is in the French taught program or the English taught programs that I present later.
Okay.
The school is mainly known for our design program, which is a master program in 5 years.
Yeah.
But we also have a 3-year program in the 3D modeling, and we have postgraduate programs, and we also do executive education.
Okay, that's perfect. That's complete. Okay. And what is this typical career path of a student who join your school?
Well, the career path when a student graduates is very various. I mean, there is not a typical career path when you graduate from a design school. I'm sure the guys who here can show that later as well. It really depends on the profile of the students, and that's why we have lots of internship periods in the curriculum in 2nd year, 3rd year, 4th year, 5th year, so that the student can try different ways of work. And in the end, they know what they want to do, whether they want to set up their own company or their own startup, whether they want to work in a design agency, or they want to work in a company that has a design studio inside the company. So it is very, very cosmopolite, and there is no typical path. It really depends on the profile of the student and on the career he or she wants to build.
Okay, perfect. So you already told me a little bit about the training and the option. Can you tell me more about it?
Sure.
What options you have in your establishment, some specialization maybe?
Exactly. So in design, we have 6 departments, which are product design, interaction design, space design, identity design, transportation design, and design for smart cities. Okay, this is for the design curriculum. In first year, the students are trained to understand, discover, reinforce, and master the representation techniques. So everything that has to do with drawing, painting, sculpting, perspective, etc. And they also discover each department with a small project. Okay. In 2nd year, they will reinforce this artistic training and also begin to work on the software.
Yeah.
And they will deepen the discovering of 3 departments with design projects in 3 departments. So that at the end of the 2nd year, they will choose 1 department in which they're gonna focus for the 3rd, 4th, and 5th year.
Okay.
So the 3rd year, the first semester, they focus classes, projects on this specific department. And the 2nd semester, they go for the first professional internship, 4 to 6 months. either in a design agency or in a company. Then the first semester of the 4th year, they have to go abroad. So they can choose to go in a partner school. We have more than 50 partner schools around the world. Or they can go on internship abroad, or they can build a study trip. For instance, currently I have 3 students working on sustainable development and climate change in Greenland. They managed to go. And then they come back for the 2nd semester, which is organized around sponsored projects. So we work with companies who give brief to the students. And then the last year, the 5th year, is dedicated to the degree, which is composed of 4 parts. The thesis, they have to write a thesis. They have to participate to a collaborative project. So we work with schools that are not design schools. So engineering schools, management schools, because I'm sure we will talk about that later, but the designer cannot work alone. The designer has to be able to work with other disciplines. So we push them to work with students in engineering schools, management schools, but also other design schools. Then they develop their degree project that they present in May, and then they have to go for the final graduation internships. And then they're in the job market.
Okay, that's perfect. So I imagine that during this, all those classes each year, or maybe not, they have the possibility to maybe have some professional experiences, like internships, for example.
Exactly. So for the design program, the first internship is at the end of the 2nd year. And it's called, let's say in English, the commitment internship.
Okay.
At Strate, we focus a lot on the human being, the humanistic approach. We think that you cannot become a designer if you're not concerned by human beings and their needs, and make life of people better. So the first internship in 2nd year is not a design internship. They're not ready after the 2nd year to do a design internship. So we want them to do a commitment citizenship internship. So they have to engage in an association or an NGO, wherever it is. I mean, there are so many of them abroad or down to their flat, so many associations, to give some time to understand what people go through, people not from the design industry, just ordinary people, what happens in the street, what happened in your city, what happens in your country, what happened in the world. So we push them to do that. In 3rd year, the 2nd semester is dedicated to the first professional internship. Then in 4th year, they can choose to do the internship abroad. 5th year, they have the graduation 6 months internship. Which can also be, sometimes it's directly a job. Some students get hired just after the degree presentation. So of course it replaces the internship. In the modeling program, they have internships from the 1st to the 3rd year. The first internship is a physical modeling internship, and the internships of 2nd and 3rd year are more towards digital modeling internships.
Okay. Great, very interesting. So I suppose that you don't have a specific level of education. Students don't have a specific level of education to enter in the school,
So to enter the French taught program, the design or modeling taught in French in 1st year, you have to have a bachelor, a high school diploma, what we call in France, le bac. High school diploma. And we really don't care about the specificity of your high school diploma, whether it is a scientific one or literature one or economical one or arts one. We don't care about that. What we care about is the spirit, the mentality, the open-mindedness of the candidate. So the candidate will go through an interview with someone from the team. And we will decide after the interview if the student has the profile to enter our school. It is different for our English taught programs. So our English taught programs are in transportation design and in design for smart cities. These correspond to the last 2 years of our design program. And to apply to these programs, you have to have a bachelor.
Okay.
Whether it is in depending on the program you choose. If you choose transportation, it's better to have a bachelor in transportation design because it is so hard to get into it. I mean, you have to really master the sketching, transportation sketching skills.
Yeah.
So very few people that don't have a bachelor in transportation design manage to get access to it, but some do. Yeah. For the Master in Design for Smart Cities, it's different because it shows different skills and people come from different backgrounds. So we have people who have a bachelor in architecture, yeah, in space design, in interaction design, in fine arts. The profiles are more different. And it's through the interview that we really understand the spirit and also the skills of the candidates.
Okay. Okay. And do you help students in their researches of internship, for example, for their professional and personal experiences? The school could help them?
Yes, of course. So for everything that has to do with international, I take care of that. So I help the students to find internships abroad. We have more than 300 companies who already took students on internship abroad. So we really help the students with that. We help them with the CV, with the cover letter, with the portfolio. We bring international companies to the school to present their companies, pass interviews. And also for all the internships in France, we have a person in charge of that. And well, we were built in 1993, so we have the experience of sending people on internship, and our very strong relationship with companies, of course, help us develop other strategic partnerships and have lots of job offers for our students.
Yeah, and I think this is exactly what students will looking for when they look for a school. They will try to know if the school has a certain network, if there is a specific help to start the career. It's very important for them, and especially on this kind of option on this kind of field, it's necessary. It's even required to have this help from school.
And we have a fantastic alumni association called Strate Alumni, and we work a lot with them. They organize lots of workshops, conferences. They have a wonderful website with lots of job offers, and it's very important.
Okay, so it's like a kind of coaching,
We also do professional coaching. Yes.
That's great. Perfect. And like the architect diploma in France, is the designer diploma is recognized by the Ministry of Education?
So at Strate, our school is recognized by the state, and our degree is stamped by the Ministry of Higher Education, Research and Innovation.
Okay, perfect. Which is very important too.
Yes, of course. But if I can add, and I'm sure the guys will agree with me, when you do a design school and you want to have a design career, in the end, what's important is not the name of the school in your degree. It's what you have to show and what you want to do to change the world. The designer has a portfolio, and this is what will help him or her get into the market and get his or her dream job. So I think that's the most important thing is what can you do? What can you show? What can you say as a designer?
Yeah. Can you tell us more about it, maybe, Anthony? What do you think about it?
Yeah. So for me, I stood to the higher school of art and design in Saint-Étienne. So it's a little bit different, but I think it's pretty the same than Strat, because in Saint-Étienne it's a public school, so you don't have to pay, but it's just this difference, because in fact in Strat it is the same courses, but there is more internship in Strat, and I think it's better, so it's cool. But in Saint-Étienne it's more so yeah, we don't care about the baccalaureate. If you made me, I made a economical and social baccalaureate, so it was cool to enter in the school. It's just pretty the same than in Strat. We have like an interview with a professor or someone of the school to enter in the school, and you have to present your personality, you have to present your works, and you have to speak about your motivation to come in the school. In Saint-Étienne we have lots of specialties too. So we have art, because it's art and design school. So if you want to do art, there is in Saint-Étienne, but it's not the bigger option, because design is better in Saint-Étienne. In design, we have space design, object design, so product design, and media design. So media design, it's like graphic design and programming design. So it depends on what you want to do, in fact. For the courses, it's the same. In first year, you have to learn about drawing, painting, sculpting. You have some atelier too, like special projects, so just for beginning. And after, in second year, you have to choose art or design. And you are testing all the possibilities. So in design, you have space design courses, object design courses, modeling design courses. You have media design too, graphic design. So you can test all. And after, in third year, you have to choose 2 specialties. And the real specialty is chosen in master.
Okay.
So you have to wait the master to choose the specialty. But I think, this school is really it have a name, because at the international, if you want, we have lots of partnership. But the portfolio, I think I agree with Cecilia, because the portfolio is the more important if you are a designer, and your vision of the world, your vision of the future. And you have to be interesting by human being. I agree with that. In Saint-Étienne, we do that too. So yeah, depend on your project. In fact, in Saint-Étienne, the project is like really personal. In 5th year, you have to write a memoir in French. It's a thesis. So you have to write this, and after you have to create a practical project. So depends on the specialties and on the choice you have to do about your subject. But it's it's freedom. In fact, you have to choose and develop the project, and the professor and the school is here to help you and to give you technologies and possibility to do.
Okay, so that's very interesting. So we're looking for human being in design. It's more about your mindset, your creativity, maybe the fact that you can put yourself in shoes people too, and just try to understand how the world is working, and try to define the needs of people. But first of all, students need to be open-minded and human. Are you agree with that, Dhvani?
Yes, definitely. I think I agree with what Cecilia and Anthony said. For us, it's the same. Like when we were trying for admission here, we were asked for a cover letter to show how enthusiastic you are about design or whichever field you want to go into, instead of seeing what marks you have before or what field you chose before. But it's more about the future or what you want to do instead of what you've already done. So I completely agree.
Okay, perfect. I just add maybe two questions for Cecilia before to know more about your curriculum, Anthony. Cecilia, according to you, what is the classic or typical career of a young graduate? In which kind of companies designers graduated, where they go, in which kind of companies or which kind of agency maybe?
So there is no typical, it's impossible.
Yeah.
Because the graduates are so different. So
yeah.
First of all, it depends on the program you attended, whether you were in transportation design or in product design or space design or identity. It will be completely different. So for instance, let's say a transportation design graduate, obviously he will dream of a job in a car manufacturer. So we are lucky enough to have alumni in every car manufacturer in the world. So this is okay. If you want a typical job, transportation design leads to becoming interior designer, exterior designer, HMI, or color and trim designer in a car manufacturer. So in France, we have people at PSA, Peugeot, Citroën, DS, or at Renault, but all around the world, in China, in Europe, Germany, Italy, Spain, Sweden, in the US, even in Canada.
Everywhere.
Okay. For other programs, it really depends on the wishes of the students. So we have students who work in design agencies. So I don't know if you want names, but there are lots of agencies around the world. The most famous ones like IDEO, like Frog Design. There are lots of them. And there are more French ones, so in Paris, in Lyon, or in the big cities, there are lots of design agencies where students go. And also there are companies that have an integrated design service. So it could be in the conception. So for instance, at Carrefour, Auchan, supermarkets, they have design services. In tech companies, when we were talking about agencies, of course, you have dedicated agencies. So you have global design agencies, for instance, Saguez and Partners in Saint-Ouen, which is a wonderful design agency that do global design. And you can have more specific product design agencies. So it really depends on what the student wants to do. Okay. And you have students who are more who have more entrepreneurship mindsets. And sometimes we have degree projects that transform into a startup. So for instance, for people who are in France or in the US, you may have heard of Luni, the storyteller. It was a degree project, and Maëlle transformed it into a company. And now so many children in France and in the US and in Europe have it. It's a small blue and yellow box, and you have headsets, and the child creates his own story by choosing different characters. It's amazing, and you can buy it online everywhere, whatever. Okay. So again, not typical.
Not typical. Not typical.
It really depends on the career you want to build. And that's why it's so important at school to have been able to understand yourself and to understand what you're capable of and what you want to do. So professional coaching, internships, meeting with companies, alumni conferences, all of this will help the student build his career path year after year.
Perfect, perfect. So thank you very much, Cecilia. Where students could find more information about your school, they can maybe go on your site.
So yes, of course, we have a website in French and English. We have a YouTube page, Facebook page, Twitter page, Instagram page.
Okay, in many cases.
Like all the schools, I'm sure.
Okay.
But I think the YouTube page is cool because you have videos and presentations of every department from the head of department, and presentations of projects, and please email me, guys, if you want more information, if you want to see more projects, if you have questions. I'm sure, Lucie-Laure, you will give my contact information in the end. So yeah, I'd be more than welcome to answer questions or get in touch.
And in any cases, I won't hesitate to communicate on your school and to give information to students about it. Thank you very, very much, Cecilia, for all those very important information for students who would like to pursue the design program in France. Thank you very much.
Thank you for inviting us.
Anthony, Vacter, we want to know more about you because you graduated now, so now you are in the professional, a pure professional experience now. So you will tell us more about it. What you're doing now, actually?
So I'm graduated since 1 year of the Higher School of Design in Saint-Etienne. For now I am in Dubai with you. And I am presenting my first exhibition. It's about my diploma project at the beginning for the Dubai Design Week. And it's a possibility to do a career before, because in fact there are designs projects which are more made for exhibition, if you want, because you can work in an agency, you can work in a company, you can work like you said, Cecilia, I think in the ESADs it's the same, but you can create exhibition too. You do scenography, do art and design project. I think art and design are there is a link to do. Our school is really like that, because at the beginning it was an art school in the history. It's like beautiful art, you know. The exhibition possibility, it's a good possibility to begin, because it shows your work. In Dubai, I am showing my work to an international public, so I think it's a really good experience. And for that you have to communicate with institution. I did a civic service in France. It's like an internship you can do with the state. So I did it in my school to develop the alumni network, because we have to develop it. It's a big subject in our school. And so I was in contact with the Cité du Design. It's an institution between the school and the city of Saint-Etienne, if you want. So it's a public institution, but we have like, we propose exhibitions, we propose the Biennale of the Design. In Saint-Etienne, we have a big event. It's the Biennale International Design Saint-Etienne. If you come in France, we have to look at this exhibition. It's next year for 4 months. And it's a big event. At all events, you have like a country which is invited by the Cité du Design, and you can show your work, you can speak with designers, we can and you can make contact, in fact. And I think contacts, it's really important in France too, because to do this type of work, to do exhibitions, to come in Dubai, come in, I don't know, US or other countries to expose, you have to make contact and don't be shy, in fact.
Okay, that's perfect.
Perfect.
Anthony, let's continue.
Okay. I was talking about contacts and exhibitions. It's really important, I think. In our school, you have to do, in the fourth year, you can go to a partnership school in the world. So I came to Milan school. It's an industrial design school. So I think it's a good thing to have different specialties to do, because all the schools have different specialties. So if you don't have one specialty in your school, you can test another specialty in during the Erasmus or the international internship. You can do internship with company or agency too. It's you who have to choose. We have contact from companies in France and in the other countries too. So school can help you to find an internship. So I think it's a good place to study in Saint-Etienne for the design. I don't know if there are for the I talked about for the in school we have lots of ateliers, so you can work about metal, wood, ceramic, 3D printing. You have a photo and video studio. You can do serigraphy. You can do art, and you have lots of computers too. So you can use computer of the school when you want. So I think it's a good school for a public school, because public school are not really they don't have all equipment, if you want, but we have equipment. So if you want to go in a public school, I think it's better to come in Saint-Etienne or a big school like that, because we have equipment. And I think in Strat, the thing is good. It's I think you have equipment. No, Cécilia?
Cécilia?
Sorry. Yes, of course. We also have the workshops, the modeling workshop, the clay modeling workshop, and all the machines to work on the different materials.
Okay, so this is a big advantage, actually. I think schools have the material that students need to create and to make the best project that they imagine. So that's very interesting.
Because you know, lots of people talk about, lots of people not necessarily from the design industry or the design field talk about design thinking. But you cannot do design thinking without design doing. So that's what design schools do. We do design doing.
I see.
It's a good concept, because it's the only way to do design, I think.
Exactly.
But so, you, Anthony.
I talk about the thesis and the project. I think we have these two spheres, and I think it's just unbreakable. The link is unbreakable without,
I see. But you, Anthony, actually, sorry to cut you, but what field in design are you developing now?
Oh yeah, so yeah, I am doing an exhibition on. So my project was a project of research about motion technology and motion architecture. So my inspiration was the works of the NASA about doing architecture with 3D printing on Mars, and I did some models of furnitures to live in the space station on Mars. so yeah, I am presenting this exhibition, and yeah, there is some works to see if you want to look at the Dubai Design Week website, and you can look at that on my Instagram account too. And this is the link to mate with the school. I think you can do all over you want. In fact, I did this thing because it's my passion, and design is a passion. So you have to do with your passions. You have to do design with your passions, I think.
Okay, and what is design for you then? How could you define design?
Oh wow, design, it's a big word, you know, with all significations, and I think there are there is the definition of design is depends on the designer. In fact, all designers have
their own perception, maybe.
Yeah, the own perception of the designer, their own definition of the word design. In fact, yeah. For me, I think design, it's it's all about human. It's all about human future. You have economy too, this notion of economy, because I think we are in a society, and design can resolve problems, can propose solutions, and I think the design is all the thing. You can do design in different ways, and you can propose some solutions to, I don't know, to live better on Earth or on Mars, for example. But yeah, I think it's about humans.
Okay, that's great. And according to you, in what way you think that France is a reference in design?
Oh, in France, we are lots of artistic design, or I think it's more artisanal design too. We work with local companies which do different materials, for example, wood. We work with at the school. We work with Rondino. It's urban furniture company who create wooden furniture for outside. So, for example, it's a regional company of Saint-Étienne. The region is called Région Rhône-Alpes. So their company are in the region. So they come in school to do projects with students, and they realize some projects if they are good.
Yeah.
We work in France. We have luxury design too, I think, because we have like Sina. I don't know if someone know this big company, but it's a luxury furniture design, and we work with them too. Ligne Rosée for the object design, because I did object design, so I know some partnership with the companies. But we made some ecological design too, I think. And in France, the specialty is to be free to do what you want with the company you want, and I think it's it's a specialty of French design, I think.
Yeah, there is no limit to creativity.
Yeah. In fact, you can do whatever you want. You have the school for you. You have the professors. You have the courses. You have technical things. So you can do whatever you want.
That's great. And what could you tell now to a student who wants to pursue a program in France? What would be the best advice that you could give him?
I think do not be shy. First, you have to take a course of French language, because in France there are lots of people who don't speak English. I'm a references in this domain because I don't speak really well English, but I think there are professors who don't speak English at all. And I think it's important to do courses and to find maybe a student who is in France and who stood in our schools, like a design student, a French design student, to be your, I don't know what to say how to say in English, but your partner to help you to integrate you in school. So yeah, I think it's my advice to come in France.
Okay, so we have this perfect example with Dhvani, who arrived in Rubika School in Valenciennes, who never been alone in a new country, who never spoke French before, and who needed the time to adapt herself to a new environment. So you will tell us more about your experience. But yeah, Anthony, thank you. Thank you for explaining what is design in France, and especially in Saint-Etienne. So I think you give very good element and very interesting information about maybe advantage that France could have in this specific field. Thank you very much, Anthony.
I think it's time. I can't stay here.
Yeah, because, you told me about your specific appointment. This is the exhibition, Dubai Design Week effect. I understand.
Yeah. So good luck for the students. And if you want to contact me, you can Instagram me and send me a message. So
yeah, I will give all your details. I will give you information, and this conference is recording, and I will just diffuse this web conference on social media. So no worries for that. No worries for that.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Anthony.
Thank you,
Have a nice
Cecilia.
day.
Thank you, Dhvani. Thank you all. Thank you,
Thank
Lucie-Laure. And
bye.
Thank you. It was great meeting you.
Thank
Bonne
you.
continuation.
Merci beaucoup.
Bonne journée.
Bye.
Merci, bonne journée.
Bye. Thank you very much, Anthony. So, Dhvani, now you will tell us exactly what is the experience of a foreign student going in France to pursue design studies in France. So, what is your academic background?
I studied, I did my schooling in Dubai itself.
Yeah.
And then after my 12th grade, which I took commerce, after the 12th grade, I came to India. And from there, to do my master's, I came to France.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. And the same question that I asked to Anthony, actually, what is design for you? Why design?
I actually agreed with him when he said that everybody has a different definition of it. So I think for me, it's similar as him. It's basically problem solving with studying the user and actually giving them or making or creating or redesigning the whole experience around their needs, problems, and basically empathizing with the user to kind of understand them, and then designing around it. So that's what's design for me.
That's great.
Yeah.
And why did you choose to study design in France? Maybe there is a specific reason, or maybe not. If you could tell us more about it.
I actually chose to study in DSK, which had a tie-up with Rubika France. So it follows the same French curriculum with the long projects and the thesis and the internships and everything.
Yeah.
But the school had to shut. So some of us got admission in Rubika France, and some of us decided to join here. So that was it. I chose this because I saw the projects that the students were doing, and I kind of felt like connected with it. Like, you know, I felt like it reflects me somehow. I want to learn more about it, and it kind of really excited me. So yeah, that's why I chose this particular place.
Okay, and how did you adapt in France? Because as Anthony said, it could be very difficult for foreign students to just arrive and know anyone. So how did you do? How things worked for you?
Yeah, actually, what he said was quite spot on, because that's exactly what I did. I took a crash course of French before coming here, which really helped me to know the basics and, you know, interact with the people, the strangers, the students, and the shopkeepers or whatever. And those like little practices kind of helped me when I had to face some professors speaking in French for the first time, and I had to understand the concepts, even though like most of the trainers here speak in English. But that was one of the main problems, I would say. But it was also really great to finally be able to have a basic level in French, so that yeah, I love learning new languages, so that was a great experience for me. And also, like, one more thing that helped me adapt here was my friends. Like, I made a lot of friends in my college, and they kind of helped me with all the administrative tasks, and maybe how to speak things, you know, when you're at parties and they casually tell you that hey, this is that and this is how it's called in French, and just joking around and stuff. But doing that for almost like 2 years, it feels like it really helped me.
That's great. That's great. So it's showing us that when you arrive in France, you will be in a great atmosphere and in a friendly atmosphere with very helpful people who could help you to adapt yourself, to practice French. So you won't be alone. You won't be alone.
Yeah. The only thing that I'm still not very adapted to is the cold, because as you know, in Dubai, you're in Dubai right now. It's like super hot in Dubai. Even during winters, it's like 25 degrees or 22 degrees. And coming from that to the France temperature was really hard.
I understand, but you did it. You did it, Dhvani.
Yeah.
That's what most of our Indian students say.
Yeah.
No, so that's great. That's great. So can you tell us more about your specialty, interactive design, what it is?
Yes. For Rubica, especially, it's a new field. Like, just when I decided that I want to study interaction design, 1 week later they opened a new field called interaction design. So it was a very good coincidence for me. But it's basically, yes, a new field. It's designing interactions between users and the end product. So designing the experience around it, and it can be like services or user interface, or the whole experience itself, or even a product. So it includes like a lot of user research, and then you have to ideate and prototype, and that's the process of interaction design. You just find a solution to a very specific brief.
Okay. So it's showing us that it exists many fields of design. It's not only one option on one specialty. You have choice to choose the design will suit you personally.
Yes, whichever suits the problematic the most can be the solution. And like Cecilia and Anthony already said, that the equipments in the school are really pushing us to, whatever solution we have, we can make it come to life. So that's a really great motivation to experiment your ideas and user test with people, and find people to try out your design. And when you see that your solution is starting to come to life, when people start to use it, it's another motivation. It's a great feeling.
Okay, very interesting. What would you define the different courses given in your training? What are the different courses given in your training? With which type?
There are a lot, but just to mention a few important ones, I would say user research, ethnographic research, then there's prototyping, there are long project review classes, there is portfolio reviews, there is career modeling, management, and it's basically just getting you ready for the professional life.
Okay, and user experience. It's can you tell us more about user experience?
User research or user experience?
I think user research, maybe. You have an ethnographic part?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's basically when you research, there is the first level is the surface level research, and then you go deeper into the research by actually speaking to people and trying to observe them and trying to really pull out and extract the insights that you would have never known or you would have never found on Google, let's say. So I think that's what they're trying to teach us with all these courses. For example, ethnography is basically observing your target user in the problematic scenario or in their daily life, spending a day with them, video recording them, and then observing their actions later on multiple times to find out and extract really tiny details, because that's what really successful companies do. They extract tiny details and create a solution for it. So people are like, wow, how did they know that we have a problem with this? Because nobody even said it.
Yeah. And these tiny details will help to define the project perfectly adapted to people's needs. So that's very interesting. Okay. Do you think that it's necessary to specialize after graduation, maybe?
I think it really depends, because some people are ready to implement their skills after just their bachelor's. They want to they feel ready to implement their skills into the professional world. But in my case, I would say I found my field that I really want to do, the thing that I really want to do really late, which was in 4th year when I joined interaction design. So obviously I wanted to learn more about it, and whatever I could, I wanted to learn everything that is in that field. So for me, I felt that it was important to specialize in this. I was not ready to implement it. And I think by specializing in a field, you really have the whole picture. Obviously not the whole picture, but the whole picture that they have to provide, or what knowledge exists and what knowledge you need to gain. And then you try to learn it by your own, with your own experiences in this field.
Okay, that's good. Okay. And you, what do you plan to practice your profession later? And in what form? Maybe in employee, or maybe working in an agency, or maybe a design department in a company?
I think for now I'm still working on my portfolio portfolio, and
Yeah.
I think it'll be done in like 2-3 months. Like they already said, like portfolio is, you know, the main thing, like what you are, what you want to show, and where you want to get is the main thing in 5th year at least. So I'm really working on it and trying to get into my favorite companies, being country blind really. So yeah, I would like to get inside.
Okay, so thank you very much for all this very interesting information. I see certain Samuel and Carissa are with us now. Did they have maybe, okay, so maybe Samuel, if you have maybe question about what you heard in this web conference, or maybe not, I don't know. Okay, so no question. Cecilia, do you want to add something to maybe give another precision about what you heard about those different testimonies?
I think, again, thank you very much for having the three of us. I think it gave a big picture of what it is to study design in France, whether at Strate, Saint-Etienne, or Rubica. It's wonderful, and I think people will understand the importance of the human being in doing design in France, wherever you go. So I think it was great to have the 3 points of view, and we all agree on many stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah. I hope it gave, it would raise interest from people in Dubai and in different countries to come and study design in France. Also, especially because we do have English taught programs, not only French, and we have very good people to welcome you on board.
Yeah, actually, I really wish I had watched a seminar like this before I was very confused about where to go, because this would have helped a lot. There's not much education given about this.
Yeah.
Thank you, Campus France and Institut Français.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, no, it's very interesting. The thing is, I will give all your information to students, especially those ones who are following us on social media. So these few days before to diffuse this conference, I will give you information and talk about you on our social media. So don't be surprised if people start to contact you, if you mail or calls to have more information about student experience or schools, and maybe this will help them to make their choices about what to do, how to do things. And me, obviously, students could contact me for visa procedure when they will decide in which kind of school they will to pursue those programs. They could contact Campus France in UAE, in Dubai, to be helped in their visa procedure. Yeah, so thank you very much.